The torchlight flickered inside the secret chamber beneath the Temple of Ethereal. Kael knelt before the ancient altar, his hands trembling as he held the scroll with the crimson seal, a mark of the lost kingdom of Veralia. He had risked his life for this, and now the truth lay before him. The seal wasn't just a relic, it was a contract. Written in blood and bound by magic, it named the rightful heir to the throne of Veralia, and that heir was him. His mind reeled. Outside, the city buzzed with the preparations for the Festival of Flames, unaware that beneath their feet, history had just shifted. A sudden noise echoed through the corridor. Kael extinguished the torch and held his breath. Shadows moved beyond the stone archway. Whispered voices. They know, he thought. Someone knows I've found it. He clutched the scroll and darted into a narrow passage guided only by memory. If he didn't escape now, the Order of the Black Veil would bury the truth forever. Dawn painted the sky in blood and gold. From the distant cliffs, Kael watched smoke rising from the eastern quarter of Sarathorn. The Black Veil had struck again, this time burning the Quarter of Scrolls. Any record of Verelia's lineage would now be ash. Beside him, Alira wrapped a shawl tighter around her shoulders. Her silver eyes didn't blink. They're erasing history, she whispered. And they'll come for you next. Kael handed her the scroll. Then we make sure they fail. They rode through the scorched district, passing burned homes and temples. Survivors clutched each other in silence. Anger burned in Kael's chest. He remembered this pain, when his village was razed, when his mother died in a fire just like this. Alira stopped suddenly and turned to face him. If you plan to claim that throne, Kael, you need more than fire and fury. You need allies, real ones. He nodded. I know just where to start. Deep in the forests of Darwin, where the trees whispered in an ancient tongue, Kael stood before a stone circle surrounded by druids. The Circle of Ancients had remained neutral for centuries, but Kael was here to change that. The druids murmured when he displayed the crimson seal. Their leader, Elder Meros, stepped forward. You carry the blood of the first king, Meros said, eyes sharp. But blood alone is not enough. Kael unsheathed his dagger and sliced his palm, letting the blood drip onto the stone. Then test me, he declared, and bind me if I am false. Lightning cracked overhead. Elder Meros raised his staff. So be it. The ceremony began. Hours passed. Visions danced before Kael's eyes, memories not his own. A battlefield, a child in a crown, a betrayal by a brother cloaked in shadow. When it ended, Kael collapsed, gasping. Meros knelt beside him and whispered, You are Verelia's son. We will follow you. The hidden lake shimmered like glass under the moonlight. Alira chanted in an ancient dialect, her hands hovering over the surface. The water mirror rippled, revealing images from the past and a secret Kael never expected. He saw a young woman, his mother, meeting in secret with a robed figure. She handed him a bundle. A child, the vision shifted. The robed man was the High Chancellor of Sarathorn. Alira's voice trembled. Kael, your mother, she gave you to him. To protect you. He fell to his knees, the truth ablaze in his chest. All these years he thought he was abandoned, but he had been hidden, protected from those who wanted him dead. And now that same Chancellor ruled the city that burned his home. Kael stood, his voice low. He knew who I was all along, and now I know what I must do. Back in Sarathorn, Kael infiltrated the palace during the masquerade. Nobles danced beneath crystal chandeliers, unaware that their city's rightful heir walked among them. His mask was plain, his cloak tattered, but he moved like shadow. Alira, masked in gold and crimson, caught his eye from across the ballroom. She nodded once, the time had come. Kael approached the dais where the High Chancellor stood, cloaked in grandeur and lies. His speech echoed across the marble hall, filled with praise and deceit. Then Kael stepped forward, mask in hand. I am Kael of Veralia, he declared, voice cutting through the silence. Son of Alira, blood of the crimson line. Gasps filled the room. The Chancellor's smile cracked, and suddenly palace guards drew their blades. Kael reached for his sword, but behind him, a dozen cloaked figures stepped from the crowd. The druids, the rebels, his allies. The war for the throne had begun. Steel rang through the palace as chaos erupted. The masquerade had turned into a battlefield. Kael fought through guards with precision born of pain and training, his sword moving like it had a will of its own. Alira moved beside him, casting protective wards and disarming enemies with elegance. Her crimson mask slipped, revealing eyes that burned with fury. Don't kill them unless you must, she warned. They serve lies, not truth. Cale nodded. I won't shed blood that still has hope. Suddenly, the Chancellor's voice echoed over the chamber, deepened by magic. Seize the traitor, he is not heir, he is a fraud trained by shadows. The crowd hesitated, but Maros the druid stepped into the light. We have seen the visions. He carries the seal and the blood. He is the rightful king, gasps, murmurs. Cale stepped forward, his blade still drawn. You lied to all of them, Chancellor. But the truth walks now. The crowd parted. The Chancellor vanished into smoke, escaped. But the seed had been planted. The city would not forget. The next morning, Sarathorn awoke under a gray sky and tense silence. Word had spread, Cale of Viralia had revealed himself. While some feared him, others whispered his name with awe. Cale, hiding in the underground sanctum, nursed a cut across his ribs. Aelira tended to him silently, her hands glowing with soft light. Her touch lingered longer than before. You were reckless, she murmured, eyes down. I had to act. The longer we waited, the more lies he'd stack against us. She looked up. You risked everything. Kyle leaned in slightly, voice soft. So did you. Their lips nearly met, but a sharp knock interrupted them. It was Brynden, the rebel leader. The people are marching, he said. They demand answers. You need to speak, Cale. Not as a fighter, as their king. Cale stood, pain forgotten. Then let them hear me. Cale stood atop the ruined steps of the old court, the very place his ancestors once ruled. Thousands gathered below, their faces painted with fear, hope, and uncertainty. He raised the crimson seal. I am Cale, son of Aelira, last of the Virelian line. My people were slaughtered, my name buried. I have no throne, no crown, but I carry your pain. Murmurs rippled. The Chancellor stole your future. He burned homes, erased names, and called it peace. I stand here not to claim power, but to return it to you. He stepped down into the crowd. I am one of you, born of ash and shadow, and I swear to fight not for royalty, but for truth. A silence. Then an old woman stepped forward, dropping to her knees. I served your mother, she whispered. Long live the king, others followed. And Cale felt for the first time not like a warrior, but a leader. While Cale rallied the city, Aelira slipped into the Grand Archives, hidden beneath the Temple of Firelight. The Chancellor's secrets were buried here. She weaved through halls of dust and glowing glyphs until she found a sealed vault. Her mother once told her of this place, a memory locked in time. She whispered the incantation. The vault opened. Inside were letters, ledgers, and a single obsidian orb pulsing with dark light. She touched it and was dragged into a vision. She saw the Chancellor in his youth, standing before a sorceress cloaked in silver. A deal was made. Power in exchange for Cale's bloodline being wiped out. The war was orchestrated, the fires, the fall of Virelia, and the woman. Aelira gasped. The sorceress was her grandmother. She stumbled back, the truth crashing down. Her family was part of the curse that haunted Cale. Back at the sanctum, Aelira handed Cale the orb. Her face was pale, eyes unreadable. This is part of my family's doing, she whispered. My blood helped destroy yours. Cale stared at her. Pain flickered in his eyes, but not hatred. I don't blame you, he said. You didn't choose their sins. But it's my burden now, she replied. Let me help end it. Cale stepped closer. Then we do it together, we break the chain. They clasped hands and, under Maros's guidance, performed the ancient rite of blood union, combining their fates through spirit and magic. A binding that no enemy could undo. But as the ritual ended, a single raven screeched and flew into the chamber. A message was tied to its leg. Aelira unrolled it, her hands trembling. The Chancellor marches at dawn, with the Legion of Iron behind him. War had truly begun.